Hey, good morning. Good morning. It is Tuesday morning here on Motivated Strength. That's right. It is Tuesday morning. Hey, folks, it is wonderful to see you. I'm your host, Schulz, and you are listening to Motivated Strength. Now, listen, if you're new to the show, I want to welcome you to the show. I certainly appreciate you taking your time to see what it is that we're doing here, and I value your opinion. Now, Motivated Strength comes from a number of different challenges in life. Most people go through something, whether it be chronic pain, whether it be illness, whether it be, self-judging, something, whatever. What I talk about a lot is chronic pain, chronic illness, mental illness, maybe life experiences that you've had and you just can't let go. A lot of us go through that more than what it is that we may even give ourselves the thought about. Now, when we're talking about motivated strength, yeah, it talks about motivation. And I'll tell you why. Because when I was going through my challenges, and my challenges were a lot. I dealt with clinical depression. I dealt with borderline personality disorder, PTSD. I dealt with codependency. I've dealt with addiction. I've dealt with chronic nerve pain. So I know what it's like to go through some different challenges in life. But I'm talking about challenges from my single-digit years. So when we're talking about those challenges that I was going through, I utilized motivation to be able to help me out. I utilized motivation and personal development to be able to get me to think differently. Now, here's the thing. I didn't feel it, and I talked about that yesterday. I've talked about it a number of times, and because when we don't feel what it is that we're trying to get across or what somebody's trying to get to us, it's not as impactful. And it may not even take, right? It may not even take to the heart of what it is that's necessary. Motivated strength comes from a number of different challenges. It's not just about the motivation. It's not about the rah-rah, sis, boom, bah. It's not about leaping tall buildings in a single bound. It's about utilizing motivation on the way that it's going to help us and be beneficial for us in the challenges that we may have. Now, when I talk about the challenges, I already gave you the list that I've gone through. Well, there's many, many more that are out there that maybe you might be going through. So with that being the case, we're utilizing what I call the optimal frame of mind. The optimal frame of mind is a higher way of thinking. That higher way of thinking will lead you to a higher level of living. Let me say that again. The optimal frame of mind will lead you to a higher level of living. Isn't that what we're all looking for in the first place? Now, when we're going through these challenges and struggles, it's tough. I call them the heavyweights. When we're talking about chronic pain, chronic illness, mental illness, there's no joke with these things. These are not lightweights. These are not something that we can just push aside. They kind of inundate us and they stay with us for a while. So what we're talking about this week is our power. Because we need our power to be able to deal with these challenges and struggles that I talk about. Now, last week we talked about nurturing, and I said, listen, we're going to utilize nurturing so as to be able to give us the strength to be able to take on life's challenges and be empowered to be able to crash through the ceilings the way that we want to and be able to reach goals and set goals higher than what we ever were able to achieve before. Now, taking our power, well, I talked about it yesterday. I talked about how we've given away our power a lot. When we're dealing with challenges that we have, it is common to give away the power because we need to validate how it is that we're thinking and feeling. Today, we're going to be talking about how we can utilize our power in order to be able to find out who it is that we need to be around us. That's something really, really important. When we're talking about going through things that we go through, we need to have the right support around us. We don't need yes people. We don't need people who are just going to agree with us every single time. We don't need people who are going to be critical of us all the time. We don't need people who are going to be judgmental at all. We don't need those types of people. What we need are people that are going to empower us. We need people who are going to challenge us. We need people who are going to carry us around when we need them to help us. How many of you have actually been out there, and I know this happens a whole lot because a lot of my audience are health advocates. How many of you are out there that are helping a whole lot of people, but when you need the help, you're finding that there's not a whole lot out there for you. I know what that's like. I've been through that. But here's the thing. Why is that? Is that because the people around us are just, they're not good for us? Maybe. Is it because we were just, kind of saddled with those people around us? Yeah, we are. If we're not utilizing our power in order to be able to change things up, it's going to be that way. But we do have the power. We do have the capability. We do have the ability to choose who's going to be around us to make a difference for us. We just adapt to being around people who feel and think the way that we do. Remember, there's that old statement, and I'm going to be real clear with you. Misery loves company. Well, guess what? Misery loves company in a lot of different ways. When we're sitting there and we're validating ourselves on how it is that we think and feel, man, it's real simple to get feeling to the same way that somebody else might do. That might be just like you. Now, that's not a bad thing all the time. There are times, and I can answer one right now, is when I go through my 12-step programs, right? My 12-step programs, having people there understand what it is that I've gone through absolutely was helpful to realize that I wasn't the only one. I wasn't the only one who was being moved around in life through addiction. I wasn't the only one that was going through the pain. I wasn't the only one who was going through the relationships. I wasn't the only one who was having character defects. That was a good thing to learn, to find out who is there that actually goes through the same thing that I do. And that way we can be around each other so that we can catch each other if we start falling back and we start thinking that, we can handle this thing again called life all on our own. That was good for me. Now, here's the thing that I'm talking about. I'm talking about those people that will sit there and say, yeah, I understand how you feel, but they don't have something that's going to empower you after that. They say, oh yeah, well, I feel the same way, or they try to one-up you. How many of you go around with that? As to where you have somebody who's sitting there trying to one-up you when you're talking about your struggle and when you're talking about your challenge. Oh, my pain. Oh, God, I know. Man, you just don't know the pain that I've been through. How many times have you heard that? Even though that they don't really mean to do it to be, trying to belittle what it is that you're going through. It's natural to them. It's natural to be that way. Why? Because we adapt to what it is that we go through. We adapt to the challenges and struggles that we have. Now, here's the thing. I'm here to tell you, you have the power, you have the capability, you have the ability to choose who's going to be around you. So what you need to do is that you need to realize that what it is that you need to help you versus what you need to validate you. You need to understand what it is that's going to be helpful for you in the long run versus what is going to validate you in the short run. Now, when I say you, I know I'm saying you a lot. I'm also talking about me, myself, and I. I need to do that. See, there's a lot of times as to where I could sit there and I could be talking about my pain, and people like, oh, I know about pain. I could be talking about mental illness. Oh my God, you don't know what the depression that I go through. You just have no idea. My PTSD is so through the roof. Blah, 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 blah. Is that helping me? Is that helping you? See, the thing is to know somebody who goes through it. That's one thing. But to know somebody who goes through it, who's going to constantly keep you attached to that problem or attached to that struggle, that's a whole other thing. That's not helping. See, knowing somebody who knows what it is that you're going through, but then follows it up and says, I'm here to help you. Here's what I know works for me. Here's what I know that I tried that didn't work for me, but this might work for you. That's somebody that you want around. That's somebody who you want to be able to help you. That's somebody who's like taking you by the hand and saying, come with me. We're going to work on this together. That's somebody that you want around you. I told you yesterday, The old statement is that we develop characteristics of the top 5 people that are around us on a daily basis. Who are those 5 people that you deal with on a daily basis that are helping you? And are they helping you? Or are they just validating what it is that you're going through? See, when it came to the internet, when it came to like Facebook support groups and so forth, listen, I understand why that they're around, and I really do enjoy being part of a number of groups to be able to help others out. But see, I'm one of those people that is going to say, yeah, I support you and I understand what it is that you're going through, but that's only a percentage of what it is that's going to help you. See, supporting you is only 1% of what it is that's going to help you. See, I could support you all day long and not help you. I could sit there and say, I understand what it is that you're going through and not help you. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to choose people that are going to then follow up with helping you. You need to look around and see who it is that you are talking with, who it is that you are developing relationships with, who it is that you are having around you that is empowering you versus just validating you. That's what we're going to try to work on all week long, is utilizing our power. So keep with us. I promise you, you're going to find that this is going to make a difference. All right, listen, we do this show Monday through Friday. We do this show so that you can start your day in a motivated, positive way. That way you can take on life challenges as they are, right? Your doctor appointments, your therapy sessions, just average day life. You can take it on empowered versus trying to figure it all out. All right, so how we do that is, let me know what it is that's keeping you stuck. What's keeping you from being able to choose people that you need to be around you versus who it is that you don't necessarily want around you. Maybe you might have some issues in regards to self-judgment. Maybe you might have self-esteem issues. That might be a problem that we can work on together and that we can make a difference for you so that you can be who you're meant to be versus who it is that you might merely exist to be. All right, listen, we do this show Monday through Friday. We do this show so that you can be the best you that you can be, not only for yourself, but also for others. I hope you have an extraordinary day, and we'll talk to you again soon.